project or meeting type. But reTHINK isn't just a generic meeting app. It's a creative OS, an always-on creative partner where teams collaborate along our own agentic AI using tools we're already familiar with, not just a prompt, using tools we're already familiar with, to supercharge human productivity, not replace it. Think of it like having a room that remembers everything, understands what you're building, and actively helps your team generate, organize, and build better together. While our competitors are focused on building for the general market, one-size-fits-all meeting apps, we're targeting the creative economy. These are agencies, game studios, design teams, and freelancers. Why? Because they feel the pain most. Our audience relies on inspiration, communication, and iteration. As early adopters, they are desperate for tools that actually understand how creative work gets done. Selfishly, reTHINK is a solution we always wanted. Working in gaming and agency world, we always wanted a dedicated space we could call our own and continually build out as our project grew, sort of like a private clubhouse to bond with our team. Since our release, we're seeing some great use cases, some even surprising. One company, Idea Studio, within minutes of downloading reTHINK, was able to create a branded gallery for their client UNICEF, using it to review creative with their clients and improve customer success. Another company, Fathead, uses reTHINK for immersive product reviews, viewing life-size branded wall graphics at real-world scale before manufacturing. And even more incredible use cases from Deloitte to Undead Labs and many more. Within the first month of our release, we blew past our 9-month benchmarks, setting us up for an even bigger beta release in the new year. Looking back over the quarter, we saw some surprising data. 118 minutes was the average session time. Our original goal for early access was just 30 minutes. And our retention rate was more than double what we anticipated this early. We are incredibly humbled and proud of our community and the support they have given us, and we're just getting started. We have an incredible team of startup veterans with deep domain experience across gaming, digital agencies, and enterprise software. But more than our credentials, we built reTHINK to solve a problem we lived for a market we love. We're obsessed with enabling better collaboration, not as a stopgap, but as a generational leap forward. Best of all, reTHINK works wherever you are, so teams can always stay within reach whenever inspiration strikes, where VR and AR create the magic, and mobile and web deliver the momentum. So please, download reTHINK. Share it with your teams, join our community to help us grow, and let's get our creative spark back. Thank you. Questions?
Thank you for the presentation. You kind of mentioned again, competitors. It is a very competitive landscape in terms of virtual meeting, especially during the pandemic. A whole bunch of companies came, and then a whole bunch left or folded. I'm kind of curious. I mean, you mentioned your differentiator is focused on the creative teams. Like, how is the product itself differentiating with that focus, and what kind of tools aside from, or is it just the agentic AI? Like, how else are you competing against your competitors?
Well, yeah, certainly, and that's a great question. And we also saw that too. We've seen a lot, that we've seen the competitive market grow and shrink. I think what's kept our staying power is the focus on the creative market. I also like to say that you generally build what you know. And I'd also like to say that we've, maybe this was our genius idea from the beginning. It wasn't. We pivoted into this market because it was a selfish move. We understood the market, so we loved it. And part of our differentiator certainly is obviously being able to tune for that creative market, being able to have environments that are adaptable for their project. They need to have them branded. They just can't have them be, branded in reTHINK. They need to reflect their own brand, so that's certainly a key baseline. In terms of the agentic AI, we're building out over 3 fronts. Again, to support the teams, and specifically creative workflow. So we've got, moderator and alignment agents. We've got sounding boards and role playing, and the other piece too that we're working on big time is the ideation workflows.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Can you explain a little more about the team? What do you think is like the strong point of your team that makes the product possible to grow further on?
Was a question about the team. So we've got an incredible team. We like to say we get to play with our greatest hits. We're fortunate enough that we haven't burned so many bridges, that we do have quite a few people who want to come on board and certainly help us out in the project, even in an advisory role. So we don't really see much challenge in terms of growth. We have deep roots in gaming, and I think I'm preaching to the choir here, but developing for spatial is a unique tool set, right, and experience set. So we happen to be able to draw with a pretty deep pond.
How do you hold a collaborative meeting if some people don't have headsets, some people don't have glasses, some people can't wear a headset, makes them nauseous, etc. How does everybody collaborate together effectively?
Yeah. So from the beginning, and maybe I should say even back up from that, I think first and foremost, we're pro-immersion. We love collaborating, and we love collaborating in person, but we can't always do that. So that's really our motivation to develop immersive tools so that it feels like we're working together in the same space. However, I think it's important to recognize that not everyone has a headset or even wants to put one on, and that's fine. It is engineered to work on mobile and web as well. So if you can't be in the immersive space, you can still view it.
So people in the headset, are they all avatars, or are they themselves uploaded? And how do the people that are not going to do this in a 3D fashion on web and mobile?
Yes, everyone is represented by an avatar because you are moving in these environments, in 3D environments, even in mixed reality or AR only. We can be in the same environment together and we'll interact with each other. We'll see each other just as we do, but we may have someone who's off-site who might be in a VR headset or even on a mobile or on a web, and we'll be able to see them move around the environment. Again, we're going after a market that's looking at things in context, so it's important that we have the room to be able to move around and provide that context, whatever that might be.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, it's trivia time again. Okay, speaking of Ivan Sutherland, in 1968, the first AR headset was created. What was the name of that headset? Okay, so in 1968, Ivan Sutherland, Harvard professor, created the first AR headset. What was the name of that headset?
Sword of Damocles.
Yes, again, Tipatat, thank you. Awesome, thank you very much. Now you've learned two new things about the VR world. All right, next up we have Jennifer Anne Ipsen with Marionette.
Hello? Oh, great. Hi, I'm Jennifer Anne Ipsen, the COO at Marionette, and this is Marionette.
Animation is evolving. Meet Marionette, the Photoshop of motion capture. No suits, no extra devices, just precision and flexibility with AI-assisted pose editing. Your motion, your way. Auto-cleaning tools streamline the workflow, saving valuable time. Enjoy real-time previews with no cloud uploads. Everything runs locally on your computer. The future of motion capture is here. The future is Marionette.
Oh. Thank you. So Marionette, creating the Photoshop of motion capture. Platforms today demand more content faster, and animators just can't keep up with this. They need new tools. AI is giving them new tools, and this is where Marionette comes in. So we built the platform requiring only a single camera and a computer. No fancy equipment, no suits, no sensors, nothing. Our auto-cleaning tools gives animators the ability to save time. They save days, weeks, and even months of work cleaning up their motion capture. We do this all with a click of a button. Everything happens within our software. Our assisted pose extraction keeps animators in control of their data. And our plugins streamline this data directly to their 3D software of choice, such as Blender or Maya. So our solution runs solely on the computer. There's no cloud upload involved. Our subscriptions give predictability. So you know exactly how much it's going to cost to complete your productions. We aim to streamline motion capture by giving face, hands, and body motion all in one platform, which you can then edit on timelines. We've also just released our multi-tracking system, so you can track virtually an unlimited amount of people in one single video. Now, our user traction, we're growing fast, and we're only by word of mouth right now. We've done little to no marketing to gain our user base, and as of today, we have over 800 free users. Our users are continually telling us how much this is helping us and how much the motion capture area is in desperate need of this software. So we have a list of tools that continuously outperform our competitors. And one thing we're really excited about is our rig mapping system. Now animators can create their own custom rigs, import them into our software, retarget the motion that they create onto their rigs to see how it's going to perform before they continue on to post-processing. Now, the 3D animation market is huge, and even though we primarily focus on films and games, virtually any industry who uses 3D animated characters will gain a huge advantage by using Marionette. Our business model is very simple. We have free indie and studio licenses. Right now, you can go on our website and download the free version and play with it as much as you like before you decide to buy. Our indie and studio licenses are billed per year. We aim at democratizing motion capture. We want to get our software into the hands of anyone who wants to create 3D animation using motion capture. Right now, we're in the middle of a strategic growth and market expansion. We aim to expand our sales and marketing team by strengthening our brand outreach and creating strategic partnerships. We're also expanding our technical team by hiring new developers so that we can enhance our product performance. Through this, we also need to expand our operational team by providing the best customer and technical support services we can. So we are a small team based in Copenhagen, Denmark, and our founders have many years of experience in their respective fields. Together, we have a very solid base to make a mark in the animation industry. We've also been a part of numerous accelerators and programs all over the world focusing on AI. Now, the motion capture industry is evolving, and Marionette drives this shift by providing no suits, full data security, and local processing. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to the questions you may have.
Thank you for the presentation. So since the motion capture is based on video, if the terms apply, can you just import, extract from a already out there videos, for example? Yeah, that's a question.
Oh, yes, you absolutely can. We do that all the time. Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to newly record it, just take it out from
Yeah, you don't have to
ultimately.
record it. You
Okay.
could just take it with your mobile phone or download it from the web. You import it into our software, and you can see it extracting in real time.
You started in 2019, am I right?
I'm sorry?
Your company
Yes.
was founded in
Yes.
2019.
In
So I'm
2019.
curious, like this offering is very, very compelling given cost of rigging and everything else that happens in mocap. What has kept you from growing?
Well, we actually started as a different company. The current founders took over the company a few years into production. We were a startup from an IT university in Denmark. So we pivoted the company away from virtual reality capture of motion capture and did more single capture. So we actually went through a few cycles of this until we landed on a single camera solution.
I'm kind of curious, like, when you mentioned the competitive landscape, you don't really talk about the more existential competitive landscape, where motion capture as an opportunity might be limited by, generative AI video, not even having a need for 3D models and 3D animation. How do you think about the opportunity as the landscape of creating animation changes?
Yeah, so we get this question a lot, like, why don't we do generative AI, or what is the difference between us? And it's really different industries. Generative is more in, the advertising space or the quick, iteration space. But we focus more on films and games, the real, animators who have to sit and animate for the bigger films and games. So there's space for us both. And we do use a little bit of generative AI for our cleaning tools. So, yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, it's trivia time again. While we wait for our next speaker. So in 1992, what sci-fi horror film came on the market exploring virtual reality for the first time, using the most CGI in a film? What was the name of that film? Yes, Lawnmower Man. Awesome. That was I'm glad you got that. Thank you. All right, next up we have Vasipo with Haptikos.
My name is Vasilapostolos Ouranis, coming from Haptikos, where I'm co-founder and chief technology officer, and trying to enable people to touch tomorrow today. So we all know that the world of the future is going to be both physical and digital, and we see that touch sense is going to play a crucial role towards this transition. And we see this in particular in applications like virtual training and simulation in areas like medical or defense, where the high dexterity is of vital importance when it comes to do things in a natural way via your hands. And also in the robotics industry with the humanoids that come up, and they are really sophisticated, but they cannot proceed with high dexterous exercises. So that's why we've done Haptikos, which is an ecosystem of technologies, both hardware and software, where we are trying to solve this problem, and in a very affordable price. We all know that the XR haptic gloves is not a new market, but is going to reach approximately $25 billion by 2026. And our endeavor is not something new. Actually, we're a team that started almost 5 years ago with a proven track record on several prototypes and collaborating with Siemens and Leonardo in order to redesign our system and reach our current status. And we believe that this is the moment because of 3 main reasons. First of all, the product itself. Then the market has reached very good maturity, and we have a team that is capable of dealing with any technology and business issues we are going to deal with. Starting from the product, our hardware part comprises 3 main components. The first one is the motion tracking, and foremost about our technology, 24 degrees of freedom with a millimeter level of accuracy in every finger joint. This drives the tactile feedback in order to have an immersive interaction with the virtual world and objects. And of course, at the end of the day, when we speak about technology, we have to take into consideration the user experience, a system that can be adopted from users in an easy way, easy to put on and take off, and last for a long time, like 8 hours. This has been already validated from our adopters like National Maternity Hospital in Dublin, where they already run an application for their curriculum in the postpartum balloon placement procedure. Of course, at the same time, the software is an integral part of our solution. This is the native application where we collect the data from the exoskeletons and we have an interface for users with just one pose to calibrate and save their profile inside a native application and then transmit the data to the Unity SDK, where we have all the libraries with the interactions and the AI tool that can convert and adjust the interaction based on the developers' and application needs. At Haptikos, we've tried every technology out there. They're really sophisticated, but we see from the very beginning that every one of them, they face specific technology limitations. Like in the optical sensors, we have the occlusion effect. In IMUs, for example, we have the error accumulation and the drift. So we wanted to create a leapfrog product that is going to go beyond that and provide a solution to three main pillars: performance, easy to use, and affordability. Of course, as I said, the market is something that is expanding. We see that the XR market is going to reach $300 billion by 2030, and the same is going to happen with an additional market on the robotics industry, like $10 billion. Of course, how we make money, we have two revenue streams from subscription and licensing from the software and from the hardware, direct sales and leasing. Aiming for massive adoption and combined hardware and software, we are looking at approximately 27 million euros in revenue in 2028. Of course, the team is the most important part. Through this 5 years, we've managed to have a multidisciplinary team, taking into consideration that we are dealing with a very complex system. And at the moment, we are seeking for a seed round of investment close to $6 million in order to reach the mass production phase. That's from my side. Thank you so much. And let's see what questions I have for me.
Thank you for the presentation. I think haptics gloves have been the dream for quite some time in XR. I'm kind of curious. You mentioned 3 different verticals. Medical, defense, and something else. I'm kind of curious. Those are hugely different markets and very hard to target. What's your go-to-market strategy in, I guess, the first one, your beachhead that you're going for, and how do you achieve it?
Great question. So what we've seen from the market, and especially in the extended reality area that covers several verticals, we see that the integration part is one of the key components in order to get adoption. So that's why we try to integrate with the main platforms. For at the moment, we have integrated our system with the Meta SDK, so getting advantage of the existing libraries from Meta and bringing on the table the haptic that is missing. So this is really important when it comes also to the software providers, because they've built their applications upon these SDKs, so it's really easy for them just to go and import their haptic feedback component into their existing applications. So this is the way. The first thing is that we see that from the technology point of view, we want to find the building blocks, the main SDKs for mass adoption, and at the same time, the serious application where haptic feedback is of vital importance for bringing the muscle memory required to their training. And with regards to the robotics, because the last one was the robotics, we've got we have 3 main players at the moment, 3 main companies that we are working for collecting high dexterous data, creating data sets for modeling their anthropomorphic grippers to perform high dexterous tasks. So it's something more niche. Yeah.
I'm curious to know where your components are made and if the current trade issues are impacting that, and then how you can potentially get the price point down.
Yeah, great question. So at the moment, I have to say that our bill of materials is pretty low compared to the competition. However, we all understand that if we can reach economies of scale, the cost is going to be reduced. So with regards, our ultimate goal is to reach the consumer markets, because we see that our system can go in a couple of $300. So that means that everybody that can use it in a game, let's say application, can afford it. So we can reach that, and this is the ultimate goal. And create a, how can I say, a very democratic way of providing our solution and get royalties from the games or the applications, and having licensing only on the software as they go based on the applications that they are doing. And please, can you repeat the first part of your question?
Where your components are made.
Okay, so the main manufacturing part about the electronics and the chips and the semiconductors are from here, from the US. The assembly takes place in Athens, in Greece. So you can understand that we can shift a bit of them in Europe, reducing the cost and reaching what I was saying. But we know how to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry if I missed it. About the competition, any close device you're eyeing on, and what do you think that your product is more ahead of, better of?
Yeah, good question. So I think the thing that we bring into the table is the human perspective. We want, in order to have a successful system, it has to be adopted. We've seen this generations with every new product that came up. So we know from the very beginning that we have something that can be really easy to understand how it works, and at the same time to have the maximum performance and be able to get it, and at the same time having applications that you can play with it. So I think this understanding from the very beginning on the product design aspect is something that we haven't seen in the market at the moment. So, thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Vasipo. It's time for some more trivia. All right. In 1956, cinematographer Morton Heelig created the first VR machine that included sounds, smells, audio, and a vibrating machine. He would later go on to patent the first VR head-mounted display in 1960. What was the name of the first VR machine? Really? Nobody? Going once? The Sensorama. The Sensorama, yeah. Look it up. It's a very cool prototype. The Sensorian. Close. Thank you for participating. Now you know. Next up, we have Raymond with Verse Immersive. Take it away, Raymond.
Fact. Augmented reality is already making businesses rich today. I'm Raymond Kallmeyer, founder of Englu and CEO of the world's leading AR marketplace, Verse Immersive. We're transcending spaces and turning them into profitable AR experiences. So hardware giants like Apple, Snap, Google, and Meta, they're investing billions, yet AR developers still can't monetize their creations. Meanwhile, entertainment venues like Dave & Buster's and AMC theaters are losing double-digit percentage revenues, desperate for fresh, immersive experiences that attract the social media generation. Verse threads this needle as the first AR platform designed for developers to earn real revenue, for venues to attract modern audiences, and for consumers to share unique experiences that they cannot replicate in their home. Zone 518 in Albany, they recently replaced their arcade with Verse's free roam multiplayer AR. Operated effortlessly by entry-level staff, they're now an entertainment hotspot. Like Roblox for AR, Verse is more than a tool. It's a marketplace managing the entire ecosystem: installation, hosting, content, discovery, persistence, and even monetization. Businesses plug in, consumers play, and developers profit. Now, our focus on speed to footprint has made Verse the only platform for free roam AR in the world. In just 3 years, we've launched in 5 countries, 20 cities, and are now opening a new venue every 2 weeks. Our B2B2C model licenses Verse to venues who manage their own staff in multi-attraction buildings at $100K per year, plus 10 cents per minute played. We also facilitate consumer bookings, earning an additional 7.5% transaction fee. And consumers love Verse. Our award-winning experiences achieve 91% guest satisfaction rating among social gamers balancing their grown-up responsibilities, like this guy. With an average age of 37, 52% of our guests are on date night, and 20% are enjoying Verse with their families. Last year, TripAdvisor ranked Verse in the top 10% of attractions worldwide. In 2024, Verse generated nearly $2.5 million in consumer ticket sales and $1 million in venue licensing fees, continuing a trend of 18 quarters of consecutive year-over-year growth for our company. And 90% of our venues are still live after 21 months. Because venues pay us $150K up front to install Verse, our payback is day one. Because venues are now adding $200K of additional revenue per year, they pay back their investment in as little as just 6 months. And with less than 1.6% monthly logo churn, we net $304K of lifetime value. With high-profile partnerships like Snap, Dave & Buster's, Fever, and Legendary, we elevate the Verse brand as the gold standard in consumer AR. Our profitable B2B2C model will rapidly capture the 70,000 global high-foot traffic venues. Okay, now that's today, but let's talk about the near future. As AR glasses commoditize, we'll leverage this same intelligence engine, which helps us optimize mid-game microtransactions in arcades, to power AR storefronts broadly and create a global ecosystem of creators building and monetizing interactive AR for real-world use cases beyond entertainment, unlocking billions of TAM for real-world gaming, sports, and social. By 2030, Enklu will be the default runtime for brand new form of first-person media, paying creators more than $500 million per year. And we built this team to accelerate real-world computing by democratizing AR commerce. Our CTO was a tech lead at Amazon's generative org. Our VP of sales helped scale Tak's retail ecosystem into a global marketplace for 30,000 businesses. And I ship AAA games played by millions. Other platforms hand developers tools. Verse hands them paychecks. Our proprietary free roam telemetry data sharpens every new interaction and powers our commercial flywheel. Higher creator payouts leads to more exclusive content, leading to more players, richer data, and even higher payouts. In a winner-take-most ecosystem, the marketplace that pays developers the most is the marketplace that wins. We're raising to dominate the out-of-home market and bridge the AR everywhere flywheel. In the next 18 months, we'll expand to 50 profitable venues, grow to 100K MAU, and validate the creator monetization ecosystem through 1 million marketplace microtransactions. We'll do this by tripling our venue acquisition sales force, scaling our premium content studio, and deepening our proprietary spatial cloud that keeps Verse hardware agnostic and adaptable to any space. When billions adopt AR devices, Verse will power the world's leading generative AR commerce engine in a $1 trillion market. Join us and shape the marketplace that defines the future of reality. The AR revolution isn't coming, it's here. And Verse is the platform where winners are already emerging. Thank you. I'd love to take your questions.
The location-based experiences have not done exceedingly well. It was a big deal for a minute. And then there's the Dave & Buster's, which are reducing. What kind of experiences are at your locations, and what do you think is the magic of having people return with these high satisfaction percentages?
It's an excellent question. So there's been a couple of breakout successes in location-based VR, like Sandbox VR is a good example at venture scale. What they've done really well is establish a brand niche around hardcore shooter gaming. What we've done is expand that into social gaming. So at Verse, people are experiencing content which is social, family-friendly, and accessible. These are not shooter games. These are like walk through the park, have a good time. We say ages 7 to 70, but realistically, this is accessible for anyone who likes experiencing something together. And when we do our job well, the content fades into the background, and people are having a shared social moment. That's the unique element that keeps people coming back again and again.
Thank you for the presentation. Great to see your progress. We've known each other for quite some time.
Maybe we'll be lucky and be doing this 10 years in the future.
I'm kind of curious, one of the things that we've seen this content evolve over time, and you're thinking about the platform. What's been your biggest learnings now that you have this kind of scale and this kind of footprint in terms of audience and experience?
Yeah, if I could tell myself something to save a lot of time, I'd say focus, focus, focus. Back in 2019, when we first got started with our seed round, we tried to be the everything tool for everybody. And to your question with another company up here, we were good but not great at anything. When we started focusing on entertainment, we really started to develop key differentiators that helped us sell into the market, a stable sales motion, and content where we could invest and continuously get better and better and better. That's been the key difference.
Going back to that the walkthrough, not like hardcore games is more played. What specifically is the most played attraction? I want to know the example.
So the Unreal Garden is our by far and away largest hit. It's been running in various forms for over 6 years. It started off as a pop-up. We licensed someone else. We actually bought the IP because we believe so much in it. There's close to 500,000 hours played in that title alone, which dwarfs any other AR experience by a wide margin. And we've just recently released the spiritual successor to it called Everworld, which also, by the way, contains a really awesome mini game called Sightcraft, which you can experience right above us at Snap's booth. We're so huge fans of that device, but it's really fun. And if you like Sightcraft, you can go see Everworld at one of our experience centers. The closest one is in Palm Springs, and I do have free tickets here for anyone that wants them. So yeah, that's the best one. And then also, if you like space, Star Walk is great. Primal Fighter is cool if you like dinosaurs. And Astro League's cool for people who like being in space but want a little bit more action.
I'm curious, one of the challenges that we've seen with a lot of LBE is retention and engagement. How are you guys tackling that? What kind of numbers are you guys seeing?
Yeah, so I would say we're about best in class. So we're seeing people visit about 1.2 times per year compared to the industry average in our market, about 1.14 times per year. So how do we make people come back? And we'll first start with an amazing product. They got to love it. They got to want to come back because they enjoyed it the first time through. Second, give them a reason to come back with new content. But even beyond that, create content that has depth, layers, and points. You can't deny the ability for points and the ability to have skill, improve your experience, drive repeat visits.
One last question. On your chart, I think you showed all the locations you guys have. Can you go back to that real quick? I'm kind of curious to see, like, in terms of expansion, how you think about territorial expansion. What's your rollout plan, especially for outside of U.S. And also, I'm curious too, like within U.S. cities, like, do you have an idea of like what is saturation in the marketplace for cities, and what's the big opportunity here?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I would say in this phase of our business, we're going to not see more than 2 or 3 Verses per city. Eventually, you could imagine as many as there are movie theaters, right? But we're talking 5-10 years down the road. What we focus on right now is marquee cities that have a lot of good things going for them. And then we've also found a really good fit in kind of the tier 2 cities. Cities where there's a big population, or between 500,000 and 1.5 million, but not big enough to have a bunch of other huge attractions. So that works really great for us because the kind of CapEx our businesses are looking at, like 1/10 what you'd imagine from Sandbox VR. So it allows us to expand into a lot more markets, get a much wider net for our consumers, and really open up new doors for getting people's first experience in AR.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you all.